KBLA Talk 1580 is turning up the frequency in Black History Month. Be on the lookout for some familiar faces as the Metro K-Line is currently wrapped in KBLA Talk 1580. Make sure you visit the KBLA Talk 1580 online store, now open for business with all kinds of fresh merch. Don't miss a single episode of The Motivator, Les Brown's month-long radio residency. You've got to be hungry. Weekdays at 11 a.m. and 6 p.m. exclusively on KBLA Talk 1580. And afternoons just got real. Real people, real talk, real issues, real solutions. Be sure to check out Ariva Martin in real time on your way home, weekday afternoons from 4 to 6. Turning up the frequency all Black History Month long. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580, and we don't black down.
Andy, careful, Andy! You're gonna catch me one night, I'm telling you. Let's get this heat going. Come on.
You're my baby, my lover, my lady. All night you make me want you. It drives me crazy. I feel like you were made just for me, babe. Tell me if you feel the same way. Does it just feel so right? I don't wanna waste no time.
Come on.
If I had to choose, I know I'm gonna always choose to be with you. Cause girl, don't you know? Girl, don't you know you're so beautiful? I wanna give all my love to you, girl. Not just tonight, but the rest of your life. I wanna be always here by your side. Girl, don't you know you're so beautiful? I wanna give all my love to you, girl. Not just tonight, but the rest of your life. I wanna be always here by your side.
You were checking out the Danny Morrison Show, KBLA Talk 15 and 10. Making babies tonight? Is that what we're doing tonight? There's gonna be some babies out there named Robin and Danny, huh?
Nah.
Yeah, if it's a boy, it's Danny. If it's a girl, it could be Danny too. I've seen that.
That's
Danni.
I know a female Danny.
Is it two N's or one?
Two N's and an I.
Is it a little heart over the eye? Boom.
No. Maybe when she signatures, could be.
She should if she don't.
Fellas.
What's up? What we talking about? What we doing?
It's all in preparation, man. It's all in preparation. Valentine's Day is coming up, so fellas, let's get in the mood. That's why I had to play that.
Look at Andy trying to hook y'all up or whatnot.
Shout out to my baby. You already know what it is.
Oh.
Look at you.
Go, Andy.
Go on, do your thing, man.
Go, Andy.
You got any pictures of your lady, man? I do. You want some? No, I'm playing. Come on, man. It's a joke. Come on.
I should
it's a joke.
Andy, I will bomb on him for you. Don't trip. I got you.
You guys are a beautiful couple. You know I love y'all. You know I love y'all. Be that as it may, upon further review, let's jump right into the Rob Report. Come on, let's go. You ready?
It's the queen of royal badness.
It's Monday.
It's time for the Rob Report with Robin Ayers. Highlighting people and things you should know about. From entrepreneurs and entertainers to money and meditation, Robin's got you covered.
Get out of here.
Follow Robin at Robin Ayers. You're listening to the Rob Report on the Danny Morrison Show on KBLA Talk 1580. Robin's got a lot to talk about.
All right, new poll up on the YouTube. Let's see who all watched the Grammys last night. I see 60% say yes, 40% say no. Usually I would be with that 40% because I don't really get down with any award show last night. But I think, last night, we all know why we were watching. We wanted to know if Beyonce was going to pull off the thing, right? The two couple of things, as a matter of fact. But before we get into that, Danny, I just came across a post that says rappers with the most Grammy awards. Jay-Z, 24.
Wow.
Kanye West, 24. Kendrick Lamar, 17. Eminem, 15.
Wow.
Pharrell, 13. Snoop Dogg is actually who posted this. He says 20 nominations, 0 wins.
Never won.
Can you believe that? Snoop Dogg has in 20 nominations never won.
Who won in 1993, 94?
What?
When Doggy Style came out,
Oh, who
won
against him?
Album of the Year when Doggy Style dropped? Because I can't see any album being better than that album that year.
Oh,
We gotta
that's
look
a
that
good
up.
question. So that was 93?
YouTube, get on that. Or Andy, if you can get on it too.
Yeah, somebody pull that one up for us because that's a good question.
It was a soundtrack album,
Soundtrack for who?
Which one?
The Bodyguard.
No, the
No,
hip
best
hop
rap.
album.
Yeah, best
you
rap
said-
album.
Okay.
Was there a hip hop album category back then? Maybe there wasn't.
Oh.
Maybe there may have not been.
Oh, okay.
'Cause
That
remember,
would explain a
They
lot.
were just starting to get going, remember?
That would explain a lot. You watched the Grammys last night, Danny, right?
I do literally every year.
Okay, so then, all right, so then you let's just have this open conversation. First of all, I did think it was pretty good. I watched it from beginning to end. It was very long, but Trevor Noah was the host.
Fantastic.
Trevor Noah is literally, I think he's doing this thing perfectly. He's not around too much, and he's around just enough. He did that seamlessly. It was perfection. It was definitely perfection, and I hope, let's just hope that he'll be back next year.
You and I have a whole lot of experience hosting events in our lifetime.
Yeah.
And people don't understand that monologue that he did where he is perusing through the audience and he is off of his dome making jokes and making comments and getting quotes from people. And I said, this is a master class in how you open this show.
Yes.
Trevor Noah is just on top of the world right now.
Yeah, I paid a lot of attention to you had to be physical. He had to actually, step upstairs and do all of those things, read the teleprompter, still engage with people, having to know where people are in the audience at certain times. I mean, he was a master at that last night. And obviously his talk show, in addition to his stand-up comedy, has helped out a lot with that. But Trevor Noah, I was like, okay, Trevor,
He's
out
that
here
dude.
in these streets. I think he's up. I think he's the guy who's up next.
Where do you go next? You're
With Trevor?
Noah, you left the Daily Show.
Yeah.
And you're on a tour right now. Your comedy shows they're gonna sell out wherever he goes.
Yeah.
What do you do next though? Can he get into acting successfully?
Of course. He is that guy. He's the guy that we all love.
But what type of content would he put out?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's the right move for him.
Right.
I know that he would be good, right? It would be good to see him around. I just don't know in what capacity. And I'm not even sure that acting is the way to go for him.
I agree.
Yeah.
What he's doing is perfect, but even this is gonna get old sometime.
But I'll be honest with you, I'm not the biggest fan of him as a stand-up comic.
I think he's hilarious.
He's great.
Yeah.
He's great in certain ways. He's not the funniest guy to me.
Okay.
But I like watching him.
Yeah.
So good for him. I guess we'll keep our eye out on him. But I can say that obviously hosting a big time show like the Grammys is right up his alley. They did something new, that I know of. You tell me if this is new or not. But they had a group of fans who were all pushing around. They did sort of a round table. Is that a new
That's new.
thing?
Yeah.
That's new.
I think because they had the most nominations in one category for the first time ever.
Yeah, so I mean, obviously they had Beyonce, Bad Bunny, Harry Styles, Lizzo, Adele. They had ABBA, like all these different artists who all had their own super fan, and I thought that was a really cool idea.
I agree.
That they had them all around the table, kind of like saying this is why Beyonce is going to win because X, Y, and Z. I thought that was really cute.
I do have one beef with that entire segment.
What's
though.
your beef? What's your beef?
Did you notice that they made the black women be ultra black women? Tiffany Haddish in it up.
Oh, you thought that?
Go back and watch it.
You thought that?
Everybody else is just describing why they love their artist and why it should be album of the year. But the black women were like, y'all know. Y'all know Beyonce
Okay,
was talking
well,
to us. And she was
hold
I said,
on, hold up.
We ain't got to do it. Why you got to have them do all that?
Okay, well let me push back. Let me push back on you specifically because you know what? You be like, where the black women at? Where the Wakanda girl? Like you want everybody to be blackety black. So
Well, we come forward.
you ain't trying to hear that. You ain't trying to hear me though.
Stop using my words against
You
me.
ain't trying to hear me. So I shout out to the blackety black girls. I liked how they represented Beyonce and Mary J. I thought it was good.
All right.
You're a hater.
Fair enough.
Okay, so Beyonce, obviously, she was the talk of the night because she actually did win. She set the record. She is now the biggest, most winningest Grammy Award winner in history. You're not okay. You know what? I can't have this conversation with you because you don't even you hate on Beyonce. Just you don't even want to talk about Beyonce and her wins. So you don't. Do you think she deserves her now record holding, award winning night?
Ask Rihanna.
Oh my gosh.
Would she rather have more Billboard awards with the sales and the #1 singles or the Grammys? Because
you can't even do it.
How many hit singles does Beyonce have? I'm just asking.
Okay, you know what? Back to the polls.
I'm sorry, that's Rihanna got 10. Okay,
Back to the polls. 30% says they have watched it. 70% said no. Wow, 70% of people did not watch the Grammy Awards. The next question is going to be, the next poll is going to be, is Danny hating on Beyonce too much?
I'm not.
Okay.
Marcus Atkins put, Beyonce is overrated. She's talented, but she didn't have any competition is why she won so many. That's not true.
Well, that's definitely not true. That's not true. Just because, I mean, for the past however many years, she's always been up against an Adele or, I mean, Min and Lizzo and, you know, all of these other people, which, by the way, they each got their wins last night, and I thought that was pretty good to watch. But Beyonce did win her 4. I think ultimately she won 4. And she got her... She got the awards that set her over the top for her history making, but she did not win the ultimate album of the year, and I think everybody was rooting for her to do that. When we come forward, though, we're going to continue the rest of our Grammy conversation, but I'm also going to read something that really set me off pertaining to Beyonce and why one of the people who actually votes in the Grammys, why she did not vote for Beyonce. Why she did not vote. That? Yes. Why she actually did not vote for Beyonce. And I think that her perspective is going to shine a light on probably what many people think. And I have some other, just my own perspectives on this and my own opinions. And we could be right. And who knows? This is all speculation. Who knows who's right and who's wrong, right? She actually admitted it, though. So I'm going to read that on the other side. We're going to continue this Grammy conversation in the Raw Report. You are listening to KBLA Talk 1580. Stay right there.
From Bakersfield to Los Angeles. From middays to nighttime. Like George and Wheezy, Danny Morrison is moving on up at KBLA Talk 1580.
Our Weekly Los Angeles is the largest audited black newspaper in the state of California with a distribution of over 50,000 copies weekly. Pick up a copy every Thursday to get the latest news on African American communities of LA. You can also keep up with what's going on in Los Angeles and surrounding cities by going to www.ourweekly.com. The Our Weekly website is updated daily with the current news about us and for us. For your advertising needs, Our Weekly offers economical advertising packages to fit your budget. Feel free to call Our Weekly Los Angeles at 323-905-1300 or visit the website at www.ourweekly.com. Our Weekly Los Angeles, reporting news that matters to you.
The Los Angeles Urban League and Parkside Economic Development Corporation are working to close the wealth gap between black and white households. B-Warp, the Black Wealth Attainment and Retention Program's free virtual workshops will help your family acquire, gain, maintain, and pass down legacy wealth. Learn from the experts about making more with what you have, the Black History of Money, joining the Smart Investors Club, preserving your assets in tough times, crypto, cash in or cash out, the wealthy mind and body. Register for this free series that could change your financial future at laul.org/BWAARP. Don't miss B-Warp, the Black Wealth Attainment and Retention Program every 2nd and 4th Thursday in February, March, and April at 6 p.m. Pacific Time. Register now at laul.org/BWAARP.
Thinking about hosting a podcast and don't know where to start? Morris Media Studios has you covered. We're a professional podcast and voiceover studio located in Leimert Park. We specialize in recording and live streaming audio and video podcasts. Let us help you set up, record, and distribute your podcast. Hosting a podcast is a great way to bring awareness to your business, product, or good cause. For more info, visit morrismediastudios.com or give us a call at 323-815-4288.
KBLA Talk 1580 is growing at a phenomenal pace, and we need to enlarge our territory. We are seeking smart, creative solution providers to join the KBLA delegation and go higher with us. If you or someone you know is interested in joining our team as a brand manager, go to our website at KBLA1580.com. Tap on employment opportunities and let us hear from you. We're not looking for everybody or just anybody, but you could be that special somebody. Come grow with us. We're KBLA Talk 1580.
Real talk, real time, the gospel truth. You're listening to the Danny Morrison Show on KBLA Talk 1580.
Robin is sitting here watching me open up my sea moss I'm trying for the first time tomorrow.
Sea moss is really good and really good for you, but I've never had it in a powder form like that.
I'm going to sniff it.
Ew. Ew. I was saying that there is a sea moss company, and I don't know the name of it, but I saw them on Instagram, and they they did Shark Tank, and that's how I found out about it. So there's a commercial. Basically, it's like an applesauce. Like, that's the texture of it. So you take no, trust me. The flavors, they have all these different flavors of sea moss, and I was like, let me just order it. They didn't do such a great job with the delivery of it, so I think they were kind of behind on it. But anyway, I finally got it. I tasted that thing. It was amazing. Okay. It was amazing. So I'm a fan of sea moss, but I'm more of a fan of something that I could just take and not have to, like, gag.
Well, I'm going to mix it into my morning drinks. Oh, that's the heater right there.
Okay, but this is, speaking of the Grammys, this is the song Sam Smith and Kim Petras, I believe, who performed. You did not quite like the performance of Sam Smith and Kim Petras.
I'm saving that heat for tomorrow, but here's what I'll say. I went on Black Twitter during and after that performance, and I'm telling you, Republicans and conservatives, their heads were exploding during that performance, but black people too. Whole lot of religious black people were losing their minds.
Well, we'll definitely talk more about that tomorrow. I don't know much about the song.
Yeah.
I know it's called Unholy.
It's a fire song.
I love the song.
Yeah.
I mean, just the sound of the song. I really love it, but I don't know much about the words. I saw the performance. It was a little gothic.
It wasn't gothic. It was the devil.
Okay. Unholy is the name of it. So
that's like my draws. They're unholy. I'm telling you.
This is not okay.
I got a few that are holy, though. Make no mistake.
This is definitely not okay.
And when I fart, they whistle.
Okay, so as I was...
Don't y'all leave me out here by myself. I ain't by myself.
You are out here by yourself. And what I was saying, we were talking about the person who actually admitted that they did not vote for Beyonce and the reason why. So I came across a tweet, and this is what the tweet said. This is in regards to, of course, everyone hoping that Beyonce would win the album of the year. Finally, she never got it. The tweet says, I saw 2 Grammy voters quoted in that Variety article who said they didn't vote for Beyonce because she always wins, and every time she does something new, it's a big event, and it really makes her mad. People just don't like to see black women win too much, and it's nasty. So then there's the actual screenshot of the quote. Let's get into this screenshot. This is from a music business veteran in his 70s.
Wow.
In his 70s, this is what he said.
White guy, obviously.
Probably. He says that he doesn't listen to all the music. Basically, he doesn't listen to all the music. He says it's a lot to listen to, and I get that point, right?
No. You shouldn't be a freaking Grammy voter if you're not going to listen to all the music. Sorry.
I agree with you on that. I agree with you on that. He is a heavy ABBA vote fan.
Yeah.
He really likes that group. He says they used to get short shrift because they were dismissed as pop fluff, but I've always been a fan. He says that their new album wasn't the best, but he still went ahead and voted for them. As to the album of the year, he says, again, ABBA. With Beyonce, the fact that every time she does something new, it's a big event and everyone's supposed to quake in their shoes. It's a little too pretentious. So his stance is that he didn't vote for her just on the fact that he feels like every time she does anything, everybody's all, ooh, Beyonce has done something new, and everybody's quaking in their shoes. Unfair. Very unfair.
Absolutely.
You're not supposed to do something or vote or not vote based on what you think everybody else is doing or whether it's pretentious or not. You're supposed to vote because of the music. The music stands alone.
Let me defend Beyonce here. Everybody say I'm a Beyonce hater.
Wow. Okay, let's hear it.
Beyonce shadow dropped that album. I can't remember the date. She has not done one interview involving that album. She has not shot one music video involving that album. She let the music speak for itself. It is not my favorite album. I think it's pretty good. Is it album of the year? I didn't think so. However, you can't say that she's out there being pretentious or cocky or aggressive or holier than thou. She let the music speak for herself. And you gotta give her credit for doing that.
That is a great point.
So he is full of crap. I haven't seen her talk about the album one time. Has anyone?
I don't think so. I'm not sure. I mean, we don't see Beyonce.
Right.
We don't see her, like, to your point, we just don't see her out there. Obviously, she doesn't do any interviews anymore, or rarely does them.
So what is he talking about?
I don't know what he's talking about. I think that is his perception, and it's unfair, obviously, according to what he sees of the culture, how the culture and how society acts surrounding Beyonce. But that's not her fault. She just drops her music, and, everyone acts the way that they do. Speaking of, Beyonce is also trending because her album, or her ticket sales for her Renaissance tour, has finally dropped, and people are still really upset with her. To your point last week.
Now that's pretentious.
To your point last week, someone said, listen, we used to have icons who sold their tickets for way less. Because it was about the fans. It's about letting the fans experience the music. It's not about the money. Correct. And it shouldn't be about the money for Beyonce at this point in the game. So,
what I'm really disappointed on Beyonce on this, and people say, well, she could charge whatever she wants, and I say, listen, you are close to being a billionaire if you're not a billionaire already. Yeah. I know your husband is already, and she's close. You really want to charge your fans that have held it down all this time and be so supportive of you, regardless of what you do, those ticket prices, just charge everybody $100 and say, let's make some music and make some memories at the same time.
I would agree.
Why wouldn't you just do that for your fans?
I totally agree.
I think there's a side reason she's doing it. It's just my opinion. And what are we listening to? What music is this? What is this, Christmas? What is this?
Yeah, what is that?
That is.
We are not ABBA fans. We are not that 70-year-old veteran.
What is this?
Music veteran.
What are you, a dancing queen? What are you doing? I think that she should drop that. I think there's a side reason she's doing it, though.
What's the side reason?
She's trying to catch Rihanna.
With the billionaire status.
Rihanna's worth $1.8 billion, and she's trying to get them ducats and try to get a little closer.
I'm just not sure she has to do that. I'm not sure she has to do that. I don't know. I'm not feeling that.
Do some concerts for cheap and just come on.
All right.
They want to celebrate you, queen.
We're going to talk more about Beyonce tomorrow.
$8,000?
Let's move on to the rest of the Grammy points that I wanted to make. Rap album of the year goes to Kendrick Lamar. I thought that was dope and very, very well deserved.
By the
Kendrick Lamar is...
Give Kendrick Lamar love. Come on now.
Let's give Kendrick some love. He deserved that. He's so low-key. You can never really catch Kendrick Lamar out anywhere. And speaking of interviews or lack thereof, Kendrick also doesn't do many interviews. So he's sort of elusive. We can't really get our hands on Kendrick to even find out what his mindset is surrounding his music. But he did talk about it a little bit on stage in his acceptance speech. He was just like, listen, I want to thank my family for even allowing me to open up like this, because that's a hard thing to do. And then he thanked his fans for trusting him with the words, you know. I just thought it was pretty special and, again, well-deserved.
Were you on Shade Room last night?
Here and there. Did they tear Kendrick up? K-Dot? What'd they say about him?
One person, which had to be the most commented post on the entire thread, said, the most overrated artist of our generation.
Okay, well, then that's just...
And I can't name one song that I love from him.
Okay, that's ridiculous.
And there was people in there going, I'm with you.
Thank you.
I'm with you.
We don't understand.
And I was like, really?
We don't get that.
Are we biased because we're on the West Coast?
No. Kendrick is genius with his lyrics, his mindset when it comes to his music.
How many singles would you say are some of your favorites of all time, though? I'm trying to be fair here. Now, we know he got classic albums, a few. I think that's the point that they're making. If you take a Drake, you could probably name 5 tracks. You take a J. Cole, you could probably name 5 tracks. Could you do the same with Kendrick Lamar?
Here's the issue. with when it comes to singles. The reason why I don't like to get into that kind of talk is Jay-Z already told us, I put out these little singles for y'all to bop your heads to. My real, like the meat and potatoes of what I'm actually saying are, you got to get that on the album.
Okay.
And I think a lot of that is with Kendrick. Like, yeah, you can bop a little bit. You can kind of rock with him with some singles here and there. And even in his singles, he's always dropping bars, right. Always. But you really got to get into Kendrick by listening to his album. So the whole like singles thing, yeah, I get it, for a record's sake. But, at the end of the day.
That's very well said.
Yeah.
Come on now, swimming pools.
I'm just saying what they were
we
saying.
Gonna be all right.
I'm just saying what they said. On. That's it. I can name 5 or 6. I could. But if you're on the East Coast, they're probably like, Kendrick ain't all that.
I'm going to tell you something. Don't Kill My Vibe. Lyrically, it gives me chills still to this day. Well, the remix, by the way, with Jay-Z gives me chills to this day. It is like the bars that he drops on. Okay, let's move on.
Yeah,
let's move on. Again, we are discussing this in fullness tomorrow, right? Because Danny can't wait to tear up the Grammys tomorrow. The Dr. Dre Global Impact Award was so special.
Speaking of Shade Room tearing somebody apart.
Oh gosh.
Go ahead.
This is a positive. This is positivity right now. Even people on the Shade Room, I don't give much credit to. Look at you. You talk about the Shade Room when you talk about the Grammys and the Dr. Dre Impact Award. This award is now named after him. He also designed the award. It's all black. It's platinum black. It's super dope. It's the very first time and moving forward, anybody who gets this award, it will be named the Dr. Dre Global Impact Award. And we can't deny, we've already talked about this recently, he has made a significant impact in culture. Let's talk about the DJ Khaled performance. Jay-Z, Rick Ross.
Let me touch on Dre.
Okay, you only got a little bit of time. Come on, give me something.
How do I feel about Dr. Dre?
You don't feel like, well, you love Dr. Dre, but you don't feel like Dr. Dre is a rapper.
Yeah, I don't think he's a rapper. He shouldn't have been on that list. Okay. But I think he is the king of the West Coast. I've said it. Have I not said that multiple times?
Okay.
He's also the greatest hip hop producer of all time.
Yep.
Right? It's fair when people say you gotta take their history into account in full. There were women saying, there's been some accusations in the past. Some he has copped to. To name an award after him.
Okay, that's just...
Is that not fair for them to feel that way is all I'm saying. I'm not saying I necessarily agree with it because he has already atoned for everything he's done in the past. However, to say that stuff doesn't matter, I think it's unfair.
I think that is really unfair.
Okay.
You would have to literally pinpoint someone who has an impeccable record, living record, and give them that award.
I can tell you, MTV used to have the Michael Jackson Video Vanguard Award.
Yes.
When his accusations came down, they stripped Michael's name off of that award.
Okay.
Now, I'm not saying that's the same with Dr. Dre, and the same thing should happen. I think Dr. Dre is one of the most important people in music history. However, when women say, you can't name that award after him.
I think it's unfair. First of all, that's a really loaded kind of question, and I think we can really dig into that. I would love to dig into that. I would go in on that, as a matter of fact. I would love to do it, but I think it's unfair, and like I said, you would have to almost give Gandhi the award. I mean, really, who is perfect? Who has...
Yeah, but Gandhi be picking his nose sometimes. We can't...
When we come forward...
You know what I'm saying?
When we come forward, I'm going to tell y'all about my bird story. If you have not gone to my page to see the video yet, it is really good. Go to @RobinAirs. Check it out right now because I'm going to play it on the other side. But we'll talk about it and talk about that's the question of the day when we come forward. You're listening to KBLA Talk 1580.
Nighttime is the right time for Danny Morrison on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Mike Island, and here's the latest from the Black Information Network. Abortion may still be a constitutional right despite the Supreme Court overturning Roe v. Wade last summer. A Washington, D.C. judge said the 13th Amendment may include reproductive rights. She said the Supreme Court's ruling only concluded that the 14th Amendment didn't have a right to abortion. President Biden says the shooting down of a Chinese balloon will not change his State of the Union speech Tuesday night. Speaking on the White House lawn on Monday, Biden said it was always his idea to shoot it down once it was safe to do so. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen is dismissing recession fears. During an interview on Good Morning America, she said the economy remains strong and resilient. Yellen pointed to the recent jobs report that showed more than 500,000 new jobs were added in January. And that's the latest. I'm Mike Island from your 24/7 news source, the Black Information Network and BINnews.com.
It's the tire sale of all tire sales. Buy two, get two free. Now at your local Big O Tires. That's 2 free tires when you buy 2. Valid on select tires with purchase of an alignment and tire protection package. Buy 2 tires, get 2 free. Now through February 19th. For your nearest store, go to bigotires.com.
Hi, this is Tavis.
Tavis, this is Dr. K. We've got a lot to talk about. I'll be in town on the 28th of February. Can you clear your calendar?
Absolutely, Dr. King. Good Lord, do I have some questions for you, sir. Hi, it's Tavis.
Assalamu alaikum, my brother. This is Minister Malcolm. Now, I heard that you and Martin are getting together for a public dialogue on February 28th. You see, now I already know the date. Now, I know y'all not trying to keep me out of that conversation, are you?
No, sir. No, sir.
What happened to George Floyd shouldn't happen, not even to a dog. How long must the Negro continue to endure this foolishness at the hands of law enforcement? People can take but so much before they reach a breaking point. What do you mean, Black Lives Matter? Black lives haven't mattered in this country since Negroes stopped working for free at the end of slavery. You ought to be talking about Black Guns Matter and start your own NRA. Call it the Negro Revolutionary Amalgamation.
Don't miss this compelling historic radio event, The Return. When Tavis Smiley converses with Malcolm X and Martin Luther King Jr. Tuesday, February 28th, 9 a.m. Pacific Time, exclusively on KBLA Talk 1580.
Malik Books and Pan-African Film Festival joins forces to present a Black History First event on February 13th, 7 p.m. Go to MalikBooks.com and come see The Black Hollywood, the reimagining iconic movie moments by celebrity photographer Augustus Carrell. Augustus is a Los Angeles-based photographer whose career has taken him around the world to shoot some of the biggest stars on the planet. Carrell, along with celebrities featured in the book, will host a book signing and panel discussion about classic Hollywood with today's iconic entertainers. An unprecedented photography book that brings the best of classic Hollywood. Black Hollywood is not just a book for black people. It's a book for all people. Visit MalikBooks.com. MalikBooks.com. Event will be hosted at Malik Books, Baldwin Hills, Crenshaw location.
The Millionaires Roundtable with Lynn Richardson is creating millionaires one family, one day, $1, $1 at a time. KBLA Talk 1580 will be celebrating Black History Month Wealth with Lynn Richardson live on Wednesday, February 22nd at the Chase Community Center on Crenshaw and Vernon in Leimert Park. Come check out the space. This location has been a bank branch for over 44 years and is now a community center. It provides resources and education to help the community with money goals, home ownership, and entrepreneurship. You and a guest can win lunch with Lynn Richardson February 22nd. Go to KBLA1580.com or the KBLA 1580 mobile app today and register. See you there.
At Charmin, we heard you shouldn't talk about going to the bathroom in public, so we decided to sing about it.
Roll Charmin ultra strong when you drop in the beat. It cleans with way less effort on your seat. Yeah, roll it, drop it. Yeah, roll it, drop it. Charmin flows extra strong from the road. Your butt hella clean while you're sitting on the bowl. Yeah, it's all you need for that bathroom groove. Get you in and out without nothing to prove.
Charmin Ultra Strong cleans better so you can use less. Enjoy the go with Charmin.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
The rent is too damn high. KBLA joins you in calling for affordable housing. The LA Tenants Union is a diverse, tenant-led movement fighting for the human right to housing for all. The LA Tenants Union demands safe, affordable housing and union rent control. They organize against landlord harassment, mass evictions, and displacement, and mobilize for the repeal of the Ellis Act and Costa-Hawkins Hawkins Act. The LA Tenants Union is on a mission to strengthen tenants' political power through education, advocacy, and direct action. To get help with your eviction or other landlord-tenant issues, take action for justice, or become a member, visit latenantsunion.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio that's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. You're listening to the Danny Morrison Show exclusively on KBLA Talk 1580.
Who's probably gonna sin again? Lord, forgive me.
Yes!
Lord, forgive me.
Is this the remix?
Things I don't understand. Sometimes I need to be alone.
Woo!
Is it clean?
Trick don't kill my vibe. Trick don't kill my vibe. I can feel your energy from 2 planets away. I got my drink, I got my music. I was sharing with today. Trick don't kill my vibe. Trick don't kill my vibe. Trick don't kill my vibe. Trick don't kill my vibe.
Up in the clouds, me and my spouse. Rumors on the ground getting too loud, please turn them shit down. Can't hear myself think. Turbulent shit, almost spilled my drink in the whitest with a mink. Running through that like it's my house, all up in the hall like a mall. Told you motherfuckers all I do is ball. No, I don't remember you, I don't intend to. Empty my memory bank, it's $1 million in it, baby Hillary Swank. Next to Hillary smelling like dank. Presidential pardon, name one thing out there harder than them. I'll wait. I've been in my wave like 20 years straight. I've been on my vibe like 20 years straight. Don't fuck up my high. Nights like this, I can fuck up a pie and still be straight. Fall back, got a lot on my plate, don't waste my breath. I don't know how many moves I got left. Back to this joint. Smoking this shit like I'm trying to prove a point. I'm the highest title, numero uno. Kill my vibe, that's your motherfucking funeral.
You were checking out the Danny Morrison Show, KBLA Talk 1580. Don't Kill My Vibe, the remix.
Okay.
And let me just say, at the end of the Grammys last night, Jay-Z on that God Did verse. Listen.
Go ahead, lay it out.
I've been saying for a minute now, if he is at the top of that list, which should launch tomorrow, by the way, you can make the case easily. Jay marked that verse last night. And the setting, it was just it gave me chills the entire time. I told you oh, wait a minute. What we doing?
Oh.
You got it? Oof. I'm telling you right now. Could not believe how gifted he was on that verse last night. It was the perfect ending to that show. And shout out to Jay-Z and Weezy and Khaled and
Rick Ross.
Ross is on it. Ross's verse ain't too bad either. But that God Did, for those that haven't seen it, at the end of the Grammy performance last night, phenomenal.
Absolutely phenomenal. I love that they took to the iconic scenery, the streets of what we'll always call the Staples Center, but it is the Crypto.com arena. And so they were on the streets of it, and they did the whole the last, or what is it, the Last Supper theme. You know, it was just a moment, and I don't think anything like that has ever happened before. That type of performance on the streets like that, the way that it was like a video, like a live performance with no audience, but everybody's watching from either, inside or on camera or something like that. But Lil Wayne, I mean, literally just kind of walking down the street doing this. I mean, it was a phenomenal performance.
Some would say the Last Supper setting was blasphemy too, though, but
sure.
I think I was a little bit underwhelmed by the performance.
Really?
I was. I think I was more gassed up to see all three of those individuals actually be a part of the hip hop tribute instead.
Okay.
Oh, that's a good point.
That's fair.
It's a good point.
I got some criticism from the two gentlemen inside the studio over there for me criticizing that hip hop performance, but I was like, you're gonna do the history of hip hop and y'all got the locks in there? Come on.
Okay.
Not enough West Coast and a lock shouldn't be in there. Okay.
Here's what I have to say about the performance, because we definitely need to touch on this performance, the 50-year anniversary of hip hop. You should have seen me. I was like a kid in a candy store. My daughter Brooklyn came in and she was like looking at me like, yo, mom is in her element, because I was like, I didn't scream, but I was like a kid in a candy store. Like, how are you going to put all of these sort of childhood iconic people up on the stage? And I did love the storyline. I loved, the flow, the journey of watching all these different generations touch the stage. I don't care. Even if Rakim gave me 15 seconds, I don't care.
Yeah, they didn't give him enough time.
It wasn't enough time. I do understand there were a lot of people who had to touch the stage. Busta Rhymes, I thought, was incredible. That was a showstopper. It was all incredible. I thought Lil Baby was very underwhelming. They could have saved that, or he could have done a different song.
So was Glorilla.
Okay, but I mean, I thought it was a little underwhelming, but good for her. I think good for her. At the same time, it's like you got a moment to be up there. Overall, what did you think about the performance?
I thought, Andy, you go first, because I got a lot to say.
First off, Missy is hip hop.
Oh, yeah.
And once again, LL prefaced that we couldn't get everybody.
Well,
yes, yeah.
You need more West. You in Los Angeles right now. Come on now. You got to get some West in there. Ice-T and Too Short are legendary.
Shout out to Too Short.
Ice-T, Ice-T, Too Short. Who else touched the stage?
That's it from the West.
That's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
Come on.
I get it. I do understand it. I do get it.
They had no problem, and I understand that hip hop started on the East Coast, et cetera, et cetera. I get all that.
Also, keep this in mind. There are people who have boycotted the Grammys. So there could be some people who have been extended the opportunity to get up there and just declined. That could have been. When's the last time you've ever seen Snoop or Drake or I know Drake is in the West Coast, but I'm saying some of these rappers, Ice Cube, when have you ever seen them go to the Grammys? When is the last time?
I think most people would say the top 10 that we're going to go through probably tomorrow or Wednesday. Mm-hmm. None of those people were on stage last night. Mm-hmm. Now, a couple of them have passed away, obviously. Yeah. None of them were on stage last night. And y'all talking about the history of hip-hop. No M.
Yeah.
No Drake.
Yeah.
No Nas. No, there was no 50. There was no Snoop. There was no, how can you call this the history of hip-hop when the biggest artists of all time aren't on stage?
Again, you have to take in mind things that we don't know. Behind the scenes, there are people who are trying to curate basically the best show that you can get that represents 50 years of hip hop. The person or people, the team who has to curate this are extending the invitation. If I extend you the invitation and you simply decline, like I'm not trying to be a part of it, yeah, we may complain and we may think we need more representation, but it's probably the people really have issues with the Grammys. So a lot of people have issues with the Grammys. So people quite possibly just may not have taken them up on the offer.
Right. That's fair.
Yeah.
Impossible.
Yeah.
Not confirmed, but
possible.
I
mean, I'm pretty sure that's,
I was just saying, what are the Locks doing up to? I mean, I like the Locks, but they're not a part of the history of hip hop, Andy. I don't care what y'all say.
Back off. Jadakiss
is a monster.
There's no Jadakiss slander. Anything involving Jadakiss, there's no slander. Okay, listen, let me get to this video. They are asking about it in the YouTube chat. They want to know what happened today. Before I play this, let me just give you a preface. Let me preface this by saying I was simply going to the grocery store. Andy, should we get into this clip before, or should we?
He said drop it.
Okay, so let me just say, I was going to the grocery store and I was getting in my car, and what I witnessed was a hawk attacking a bird.
I love this.
Attacking a bird, and so you catch me in real time, and I recorded everything in real time. So take a listen to this traumatic moment of mine. I just saw something devastating, and I feel like my actions or lack thereof may have killed a bird. Okay, check this out. This is happening in real life right now. He is killing the bird, and the bird is trying to get away. Oh my God, okay, that's a hawk. Okay, I swear if I get out, I feel like the hawk is gonna attack me. He's gonna attack me. The bird wants to leave. I feel like I need to throw something at him. Oh, look at the bird sees me. Oh my God, he took the bird. He took the bird because he saw me coming. He took the bird. And now the bird. R.I.P. to the bird, because the hawk, y'all, okay, if you have not seen it, you can see the visuals on my page of the hawk unaliving the bird that is there. The bird is still you know,
unaliving.
You got to be careful with your words on social media. So you know, the bird is trying to move, but the hawk is not really having it. So you got to see the visuals. Listen, I'm going to break down on the other side. This is what I'll do. On the other side, I'll ask you, this is my question of the day. Am I right for trying to save this bird, or am I getting in the way of, you know, the circle of life? Okay, we'll talk about that on the other side, listening to KBLA Talk 1580.
From Bakersfield to Los Angeles. Middays to nighttime. Like George and Wheezy, Danny Morrison is moving on up at KBLA Talk 1580.
Will Smith and Martin Lawrence confirm Bad Boys 4 is in the works. Maisha Cairo here with your K-Black Minute News, brought to you by Lendistry. The film Bad Boys 4, Bad Boys for Life, is in pre-production. Take a listen to the viral announcement by Will Smith and Martin Lawrence themselves.
It's about that time.
It's about that time,
It's
y'all.
official, y'all.
Y'all know what it is, right?
It's official. Bad Boys for life, baby.
I'm Maisha Cairo, and that's your K-Black Minute News.
Thanks to our new sponsor, Lendistry. Lendistry is a national Black-led small business lender that is headquartered in Los Angeles. Lendistry helps small business owners access the affordable capital needed to grow. Visit Lendistry, LENDISTRY.com/KBLA today.
Periods don't care what you're doing, but your pad should. Get Always Triple Protection System in Always Day and Night Pads. Always Day Pads protect when active by wicking away gushes 2 times faster than leading store brands and giving us up to 100% leak-free and odor-free comfort. When we size up our pad at night, we get the same triple protection, plus up to 75% more coverage in the back for when we're laying down. No matter what, Always has you covered, day and night.
Hey, Dad, how do airplanes fly? What's in this box? Is this tree good for climbing? How are babies made? What does this thing do?
Kids are curious about everything, including guns. Talking to them about gun safety in your home is a good first step, but you can do more. Always keep your guns locked, unloaded, and stored separately from ammunition. Safe gun storage saves lives. Learn how to make your home safer at endfamilyfire.org. That's endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by End Family Fire, Brady, and the Ad Council.
I'm getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20.
So am I, because I'm at risk for pneumococcal pneumonia.
I'm asking about Prevnar 20 because there's a chance pneumococcal pneumonia could put me in the hospital.
Age 65 or older, you may be at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine, a Pfizer vaccine that can help protect against pneumococcal pneumonia in just 1 dose. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. The most commonly reported side effect was pain at the injection site. For additional common side effects and full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
I want to be able to keep my plans.
So I'm asking my doctor about getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20.
Tune in to More Than That with Gia Peppers live this Sunday at 4 p.m. on KBLA or wherever you listen to podcasts. This episode of More Than That is brought to you by Chevrolet, helping HBCU students develop stories that make a difference. Chevrolet, find new roads.
The possibility of lung cancer can be pretty scary, especially if you're one of approximately 8 million current or former smokers at high risk. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know that now there's a breakthrough low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early, and it only takes 60 seconds. You stop smoking, now start screening. For an easy quiz to see if you're eligible, visit SaveByTheScan.org. It could save your life. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
Real talk, real time, the gospel truth. You're listening to the Danny Morrison Show on KBLA Talk 1580.
Yeah, man, back to the story inside the Rock Report. Let's go.
Okay, so unfortunately, y'all think that I was doing too much. According to this poll, I said, am I wrong for trying to interrupt the circle of life by stopping a hawk from killing a bird? And they all say I'm wrong, Danny.
All of them?
100% people say I am wrong. Oh, no.
Ooh, very nicely done.
Yeah, so they think that, okay, so Mimi says, Robin, yes, you were right. A hawk? Were you in the mountains or what? No. I mean, well, I live, kind of over that way. And there are hawks, here and there. But this is what I was trying to explain to Danny. Hear my heart, okay? I was trying to think of the underdog. At that moment, the bird was still alive. The bird had a chance, in my opinion. I was like, okay.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
I think there's a chance. And if I see that there's a chance, I'm going to try to save the bird. It's the underdog. I'm going to try to save the bird. But then everyone is like, if you try to stop the hawk from eating, the hawk needs to eat too and maybe take food back to its family.
Correct.
You think that?
Survival of the fittest.
It's really unfair.
It's the way it goes.
Okay, so how I think of it, this may be a little twisted, and you correct me if I'm wrong, but how I think of it is, okay, don't laugh. Everybody, don't laugh at me. But if I am watching police sort of brutalizing someone,
right,
and imagine you being brutalized and you're looking at other people and you're like, this is happening, help me, help the man, like, stop brutalizing me. Don't you think, like, you should jump in? You should do something to try to, help out the person being brutalized. Now,
yes.
I get it. It's a stretch. But
apples and oranges, and it is a stretch. But I think you just inherently are one of those people that you see someone, especially someone, the most meek of us, you always want to help someone. Especially if someone's overtaking them and is much more powerful than them, like a police officer, of course. Mm-hmm. I respect that. But, yeah, you're right. That hawk probably has some babies at home.
C. Porter says, Robin, terrible analogy. You are absolutely right. It is a stretch and a terrible analogy. I'm trying to explain my heart.
Yeah.
All right. My position and my heart position. Stacy says, she says, I'm impressed that she knew it was a hawk. I only know pigeons. Okay.
No, I saw it. It is a hawk.
It is a hawk. Robin, that's nature, food chain business. I get it. Now, I've been corrected a million times. If you look at my comments, everybody is like, leave them hawks alone. Don't try to get involved. And now I get it. I've been traumatized before by seeing a coyote tear up a cat in front of me, and so I tried to stop the coyote that day, so I was trying to stop the hawk this day. So
this is off topic. Have you ever hit a cat or a dog with your car?
I've never done that.
It messes with you for months. I've done it.
Is it a cat or a dog, or is it like squirrel, any sort of living thing?
Mine was a dog, and it was a big dog, and I'm telling you, you feel it hit your car, and you roll over it as well. It is traumatizing.
I can't.
So, yeah, I get it.
I can't. That kind of bothers me. But, more than anything, I'm glad that you were at least entertained by my story, if nothing else. And thank you all for the insight. I will no longer get involved with the circle of life.
It was a hilarious. I was laughing out loud. I said, Robin is hilarious. That is a great, great story. And she gave us visual aid, too, through the entire thing.
Yeah, I did. And I'm glad that you could laugh at my pain. The motivational moment of the day. All right, here is where I have to give a shout out to Chris Brown.
Oh,
I love Chris Brown. Okay, I love Chris Brown, but he's always putting his foot in his mouth. If kind of going back to the Grammys, if you know who Robert Glasper is, let me rephrase that. If you don't know who Robert Glasper is, you are sleeping under a rock.
Facts.
Because he is an amazing artist. You just gotta Google him, and as a matter of fact, he plays around a little bit on his own page that says, who the F is Robert Glasper? Everybody wants to know. If you don't know his music and his background, he is an incredible producer. He is a composer, songwriter, all of these amazing things.
Come on.
Hey. He happened to win, because the Grammy was for Best R&B Album. Chris Brown apparently was up for that as well. He did not get it. He thought that he deserved it.
Nope.
So when Robert Glasper got that Grammy, Chris Brown goes off. And he is sending all these messages on Instagram, social media. He's like, who is this? He's taking screenshots. He just doesn't understand. Acting like a child.
Yeah, very much.
Very much acting like a child. I think the entertainment industry has a really... what would you call the relationship they have with Chris Brown? Because we love him, I think, as fans in the public, we love him, but there is a tumultuous sort of relationship that he may have with organizations such as the Grammys or Billboard. And I don't know that he has redeemed himself.
No, he's a polarizing figure. He has been since the incident with Rihanna. Let's keep it real up in here. My question is, and I'm going to try for you, Chris. God, I don't want to, but I have to.
Okay.
Are they still holding that against him? The incident with Rihanna. Is he never going to win another award because of that? I just saw him win Best Male Artist at the AMAs, though. But that is fans vote for that.
Right.
Grammys, the industry, will they ever give him another award because of the incident with Rihanna?
Okay, so we could talk about the incident, but let me ask you, you said he's a polarizing individual. What about him makes him polarizing?
He's loud. He's boisterous on social media. He's, he attacks people on occasion. He's just one of them cats.
So it actually, going back to the statement that I read regarding the veteran who did not vote for Beyonce, kind of gives you an insight to people's own maybe thought processes when they vote or don't vote for someone, right? We think, okay, it should be all about the music, but we're all human beings at the same time. People vote depending on if they like you or they don't. So you could be very right about the fact that just because he's polarizing in his statements and his personality traits, that maybe it turns people off.
And this definitely doesn't help for him in the future, I'll tell you that.
To Chris Brown's defense, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I didn't know too much about Robert Glasper either.
Wow.
Until kind of working in this industry, you heard about it, but Robert Glasper isn't necessarily mainstream like that.
Well, Grammys ain't about mainstream.
Understood. But I think I can understand Chris Brown's sentiments. It's like, do you even hear Robert Glasper on the radio? Now, you might have heard his production, but you don't know him as an individual artist like that.
Yeah, well, I don't know the queen's name that won Best New Artist, the jazz singer that really...
Samara Joy. Wow.
Listen.
Incredible. She's actually performing out here next weekend.
I would go see her.
Yeah, she's performing at Northridge at CSUN.
She got a lot of Sarah Vaughan to her. I was like, you know what? That's amazing. That being said, my point is, do you know about her? Have you heard her on the radio at all?
Right.
And she slaughtered Lotto, who I was like, Lotto gonna win this going away. So it's not about mainstream. It's not about sales. It's about who is amazing. Robert Glasper is freaking amazing.
Robert Glasper is amazing, but to Andy's point and Chris Brown is in a certain lane. He's in a certain lane, and it's unfortunate. You should be more universal and more cultured. If this is your industry, you should know more about music and of all different genres, right? But, unfortunately, that is not his story. And you're right, C. Porter, Robert Glasper does a ton of collaborations.
Sure
and I think that is probably, with great artists, that's probably why most of us, whoever does know him, that's probably why we know him. The artists that he collaborates with, they do a lot. I mean, you have no choice but to highlight Robert Glasper because it is his production when he's working with these artists. But yeah, if you don't know about him, you got to do your research and check him out. And clearly that's what Chris Brown had to do, because after he made this big fuss, fortunately, he was wise enough to say, you know what, let me do my research. And he sent a nice little apology message to Robert Glasper. He told him, he said, congratulations, my brother. I would like to apologize if you took offense. Not if you took offense, that you were offensive. You were not my intended target, and I know I came off really rude and mean. After doing my research, I actually think you're amazing. The organization isn't doing us blacks our due diligence. Yeah, I don't know. He says, you and I should never be in the same category, two totally different vibes and genres. So from one black man to another, congratulations. Hope you are able to feed your family for life.
Stuff bothers me. We talked about this last week when cats find clarity later. It is a character flaw if you feel I should lash out on this man who is celebrating with his family that he just won a Grammy. You're going to take it upon yourself to get on your socials and down this cat who is celebrating a Grammy. And then you apologize later and blame the industry? Give me a freaking break, man. I'm trying to defend you, Chris. Give me a break.
I understand. I think it speaks to his level of
immaturity.
His level of immaturity or not having quite evolved. I have to say this, though. Yes, it was wrong. He was wrong. He knows he was wrong, but he did come around. He did. And that's what we can all hope for. At least there is redemption for people.
How old is Chris Brown?
There is a redemptive quality about him. 30, I don't even know.
33?
Probably a little older, maybe. I'm not sure. But at least he did it. Congratulations to Robert Glasper.
Yeah, he's amazing. News and traffic. Danny Mo Show. Stay there.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Mike Island, and here's the latest from the Black Information Network. Abortion may still be a constitutional right despite the Supreme Court overturning Roe v. Wade last summer. A Washington, D.C. judge said the 13th Amendment may include reproductive rights. She said the Supreme Court's ruling only concluded that the 14th Amendment didn't have a right to abortion. President Biden says the shooting down of a Chinese balloon will not